Good morning, everybody. Heidi Foy here with Bullfrog Creative. It's hump day out here in the real world, but we are just a little over halfway through the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas. You are tuning into the NFR Hangover, which, man, the farther into the week we get, the more we start to feel it. I'm not barely making it to the end of the rodeo now. I got to go to bed. I'm too dang old and tired, which neither of those things make it fun. So you guys, before we go to our show today, of course, you want to give a shout out to Cinch Jeans and Shirts. They are kind of our presenting sponsor here on this platform. And also a shout out to Con Williams Art Studio. And y'all, the day has come. They are set up at the Working Ranch Expo. I believe it opens today at 11. We'll run 11 to 4, and then we'll also run today, and then we'll run 9 to 4 Thursday and Friday. Jeez, too many times. I can't imagine being there having to juggle all these events. You guys stay tuned. We've got a really good show today, I promise. All right, you guys, good morning. We are back. We have Tony Branquinho and the lovely Jim Boy Hash joining us, and we will have a special guest, but let's do a little intro for that, and I'll let Tony introduce our guest.
Oh, you want to do it now?
Well, your call. You make the call. You just tell me when to push the button.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's bring him on in. You guys, this morning we've got my brother Luke Branquinho, the 5-time world champion steer wrestler, joining us this morning. We want to thank Luke. Thank you for there he is. Oh, there you are. Can you hear us now? All right.
Of all of us, he's probably feeling it the most.
Yeah, he's feeling it.
Can't hear you.
We can hear you.
Hear
we
you guys.
We have a lovely technology.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes,
we can hear you. Do sign language because this I'm not. Oh, you can hear me. I don't know how to make this work. I'm so stupid.
This is
Let me look at my phone. Let me look at the settings.
Oh, this is awesome. Technology at its finest.
Audio. It says it's on. I don't know.
It's working.
Oh, that is.
Hold on. Let me check it and see if it's something that tells me how to run this.
Turn your volume up.
I turned you guys up. I'm not a third grader.
You are a bulldogger.
Hold on. Good morning. That's not from you guys. We can hear and see you. All right. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, let's talk steer wrestling.
You just talk.
6 inches on the barrier. I'm just shooting from the hip here. I think has got a lot of guys guessing. Obviously, the barrier has played a role in how the average is set right now, and there's only 4 guys that are clean. Tristan Martin has a hold on him, but he needs to run at the barrier a little more than he has the last couple nights. Tony, you're going to have to make some notes if you have questions for me on a white piece of paper. Hold them up, and I will talk.
I was just going to call you.
Other events, I will say this.
You must be calling him right now.
Yeah, I was. Now he lost his audio altogether.
Audio only. Okay. Hold on a second, folks. Audio. Camera off. How do I shut camera off?
Jim Boy, I love it. There you go.
Oh, there you guys are.
All right. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you. Can nobody see me?
No, we can see you.
We can see you. We can hear you. We got it all.
Well, now I can't see you guys, which that's not important.
That's all right.
That's okay. We can see you. We can hear you. So you're saying Tristan Martin is kind of, he's got the average. He's in the lead of the average. Why did they decide to add 6 inches to the start in steer wrestling this year? What was the thought behind that?
Is this a family show?
No, this is a
really.
say whatever you want show.
Okay, there's no beeping out profanities, but anyway, that's a great question. And I guess what pisses me off the most is the Cowboys never knew anything about it. It's like, bam, here's 6 inches on the barrier. And
like when they got to Vegas, it was just here you go.
No, it was done several weeks before, but they never were asked their opinion. Nobody's opinion was asked, other than my understanding was the Las Vegas committee wanted to do it because the gate man. They said that there was too many people asking for reruns, which it didn't matter if a steer goes down the score line, they're going to do their best they can not give them a rerun, because we need to make sure production's going smooth. Anyway, the reasoning was because the gate man was having a hard time opening the gate because the start was so fast that they felt like there was not bad gates. Anyway, we can go on about this. It's crap, yes, because now you make guys guess. It's the national finals rodeo. You know, maybe the last few years we've had a couple issues, but I just, without asking for the Cowboys to give their 2 cents on it, I just think it was all a bunch of bullshit. Does it affect the outcome of the event? Well, no, it's fair for everybody, but you have records that have been in place with that start for, however many years. And what we're seeing now is the guy breaks the barrier, then the next 2 guys are going, oh crap, it's not that. But I mean, I guess there's pros and cons to it. I'm not sure all the pros, but the cons are it just makes guys guess more.
Well, I mean, it changes it because at least they knew what the start always was in the past. And if this was their rookie year, then they could easily watch one round and maybe be able to nail it after that. We're halfway, well, now round 6, a little over halfway through now, and guys still don't 100% know what the start is.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much chance with the steer, too. I mean, when it was the regular or the old start, you might have a steer that left sharp the first night and you take that same start.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he doesn't leave sharp the second time, you break the barrier, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And again, I don't have a dog in the fight. I just feel bad for those guys that, are sitting there guessing on it. But whether they do it or not, I don't have a problem with that either. What bites me in the ass more is they never ask their Cowboys' opinion. They just go ahead and do that when it's not them running at the $27,000 a night. It's not them putting that money in their bank account to feed their family. They just go ahead and do shit without asking the people that it really and truly affects the most.
Well, and it sounds like they tried to make the right choice for the Cowboys, but in that regard, then let's ask them.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the power trip that rodeo's always had. The Cowboys are always playing or sucking hind tit on that because we're going to do no matter what, because that's the only option we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on? No, they said last night, was it Cody Devers? He's out for the rest of the finals, right? He's not going to run another one.
Somebody had said that. I hadn't talked to him, but I know there's that one smaller pin of steers of J.J. Miller's out of Texas that he may come back on. He turned one out, so he has to turn one more after tonight. That. And the round would be those J.J. Miller steers. So those were the only steers, I guess. And this is all just what I've heard.
Tom Miller told me this morning that he says Devers drew out for a round or 2, but still entered.
Yeah, he's still in there. That's what I'd heard. So he's gonna supposedly gonna run on JJ's cattle.
So wait a second. If they med out of one round, they'd have to do a minimum of 2.
Yeah, and it's not a medical or I guess whatever it is. But yeah, if you turn out one, you have to turn out this round after that. Then you could start competing again.
Why?
That's why like Shane Proctor last night had to get on that bull at the beginning of the bull riding to finish round 5. He couldn't turn that one out because he got hurt, in the chute before he rode 2 nights ago, he had to get on that bull. Otherwise, he'd had to turn out last night's bull too. So he got on 2 last night.
The reasoning for, I believe, actually, I should text Cody Lambert, but I think the reason they put that rule in is because if a guy had a bull he didn't like, he just turned it out, and then he'd go ahead and get on the next one. And I think in the rough stock, they draw 2 days in advance. So the guy we had dinner with Richie Champion last night. He knew his draw from they drew last night after the rodeo first draw tonight, and I think they may have drew him for tomorrow night. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that is the reasoning. I believe those, not wanting to get on a ranked bull and come back in the next round on the super good ones and get on them. So
they draw at the beginning of the week. They'll draw the first 2 rounds, and then from then on, it's just 1 round each night. The previous,
so they're a round ahead.
If you'll remember back when Tough drew Bodacious,
he sat over him.
Yeah, he actually, that was counted as a ride, so he could still get on the following night.
That was an attempt right there. Yeah, it was considered an attempt.
Yeah. Because like Luke said, if you're hurt and banged up and you draw something you don't like, even if you're healthy, that keeps you from turning that one out. It kind of makes you think about it anyhow.
Right.
I want to ask while Luke's on here and while he's, since he's experienced getting to ride in the Grand Entry, due to Wade's deal, what do you think initially? I'm sure there's some talk, whatnot. Will the Grand Entry change in the future now? I mean, we all know that bull riders don't ride horses very good anyhow. Do you think the Grand Entry, do we see a change coming there?
I've always thought there should have been a change in it, and I enjoyed the hell out of it my first year. After the 3rd round, it got pretty rough. You get banged up, but it's tradition, and we can't get away from tradition because rodeo has a hard time thinking outside of the box. Yes, I do think there needs to be a change. We see it almost every year. A horse goes down, a horse bucks them off. These time event guys have to bring their horses from home, whether it's a young horse, old horse, whatever. Obviously they're not going to ride the horse they compete on, which actually I did. I rode the horse that I hazed on in a couple times. But something does need to change because look at Wade Sundell. Unfortunately for him, fractured a vertebrae, I do believe. Cody Cassidy, I know, went down. I mean, there's always somebody getting banged up in the Grand Entry. And again, who pays the price on that? The Cowboys that are out there trying to compete and win and make a living for their family.
Has it ever happened? I mean, has there ever been an injury like this that has literally taken that person out for the rest of the week?
I'm not sure if it's taken them out, but it's made them sore enough where you could see it somewhat affect their performance.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this will spur the conversation and the change. I mean, it's super unfortunate. I can't imagine losing an opportunity to compete. I mean, just to compete at the NFR, but if you're running it as a business, to compete for that much more money to finish your year out strong, that's a hit.
And I've already been asked if he can go after, legally, whoever owns the horse, the NFR, whatever, for possible wages lost for the rest of the week. I'm going to guess he signed a waiver.
Yeah, we signed a pretty good contract. The devil himself may have wrote it, but again, and it comes down to money. And I'll just put it this way. I believe the contractors bring X amount of horses for the Grand Entry. They get paid X amount of dollars for those horses to get fed for 3 weeks, because I believe those horses are out here a week, maybe even 2 in advance. So they don't have to feed those horses for a week. The NFR does. The NFR pays them, I don't know if it's $500 or $1,000 a head. So they're making money all month long on those horses and not having to feed them. And we know, again, a lot of people that control this industry. So there again, I don't know if there'll be a change. There'll be a discussion about it, but not the Cowboys getting paid that money. It's the contractors.
Yeah.
Well, you could tell. I mean, like I said, you saw it about round 3, Luke. Those horses, once they do the tip of the hat and then they start coming out, and as they start filing out and feeling back through, those horses in the middle start bolting out there and jumping in front of horses coming in front of them. You can see the wrecks that are avoided every night, and it's just, you'd hate to see somebody get hurt. And Wade just gets tapped off, finally finds his groove the night before, wins the round. You saw that Wade Sundell style, that swag, and you're like, all right, here he goes. And then he goes and breaks his back in the grand entry. That really sucks for him and for his family and for his bottom line in his pocketbook. So you hate seeing that. And
even to that point, people that get banged up throughout the year and show up to the grand entry, it used to be you can get a doctor's note to not ride in it. And I've done it the last few years I rodeoed. I'd get, my lat muscle when I tore it, I stayed in the adjusting room. They heated it up and rubbed it, and then I'd just go down the tunnel to compete. Now they will fine you, I believe. I think it starts at $100 and then doubles if you miss the grand entry. There's no doctor's notes. Cody Devers, I believe, was getting his pec worked on, had to stop getting his pec worked on to go get on his grand entry horse to ride in the grand entry. So I mean, they force your hand not to a degree. They do force your hand to where if you don't do it, you get fined. So again, they're cutting into your pocketbook.
You've competed there 14 times since 2001. What changes have you noticed this year now that we're back in Vegas from Arlington last year with the whole COVID deal? Does it seem like things have tightened up, or are they making it tougher on the Cowboys? What's different this year in Vegas compared to the last time we were there in 19?
Well, you notice that Cowboys don't give a shit. And I'm not talking about the ones in the arena. I'm talking about the fans and everybody around. I don't know how many people – I feel bad for the people working in Vegas that say you have to put your mask on. Here's a mask. Put your mask on. Because, no, they're not doing it. Or they grab it from them, put it on, and as soon as they walk through the doors, take it off, which – listen, I'm not an anti-mask or anti-vaxxer, but if you want to wear it, wear it. If you want to get a shot. But don't sit here and tell me I have to. And I think that's 99% of the people that are in Vegas right now. I did hear, the first of the week, I don't even know if it was before, I think it was before the first performance, Lieutenant Governor of Nevada called a couple casinos and saying, you better start handing out masks and asking people to wear them, or we will shut you down and we'll pull your gaming license. So, I think politically driven, yes, they're trying to drive it home as hard as they can. What are they going to do? Stop the national final rodeo?
Well, wasn't it Dusta that told us that Michael Gong got fined $150,000 the first, during the PRCA convention week, the 3 days before the rodeo, because Cowboys weren't wearing their mask inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're staying at the Virgin right now, and we walk in the door, and when we first got here, there was always somebody out there, put your mask on, hand it out. And now they just wave at you when you walk by. So I think they get tired of, they're just doing their jobs. And that's the sad part. You can't get on them. You just shake your head and wave and go on with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as far as changing, there hasn't been a whole lot changing. I haven't seen social distancing. I haven't seen, much of anything different other than, whoever wants to wear a mask puts them on.
Well, that's the first night. Now, it was funny. The first night we watched the finals on Thursday night when it started, we're sitting there at the house, turn it on, and Charlotte's like, oh, my God, it looks like they've got sections off. There's empty spots in the stands. Well, we found out it was the earlier start time, and then getting through security took people longer because as the rodeo went on, it filled in. So there was no, they didn't have areas sectioned off. They didn't, weren't keeping people from sitting next to each other. And then and she goes, look, there's hardly any masks in the stands. And you could tell they might have had them when they walked in, but they weren't wearing them once they got there. So,
yeah, I've seen
pretty
more.
cool.
I've seen more masks on the side of the road in the than I have on people's faces. Unfortunately for the environment.
Yeah.
Tell me, I'm always interested, and I've heard about it before. So I know you'll have a unique perspective and get to see it, but I've always heard about the fine list. Tell me about the fine list. How's it looking this year? What's kind of some of the funny ones that you might see on there?
Well, Had it 2 nights ago, and it wasn't as bad as it usually is by the 4th, 5th round. Tough Cooper 2,500 for missing his event signing at the convention center for all the tie down ropers.
Ooh.
JB Mooney had a couple on there for a hawk feather in his hat. And,
what?
Yeah, any bird of prey, you can't have a feather in your hat unless you're, I believe, Native American or have a note from a Native American. I'm not 100% sure, but it isn't in
Department of Interior or Indian Affairs. You have to have a note stating you're allowed to.
Yeah. They did say one year Aaron Sinigini had one in his hat, and he walked in and had been fined 2 nights in a row. He walked in and said, "What more do you need from me?" And so, but there are not a lot, but a few of the being called upon when ready. And obviously that's a 45-second time limit for the guys in the box, I believe. So other than that, there hasn't been, too many more that I've noticed that were kind of out of the ordinary.
What was the yellow feathers the Bronc riders were wearing last night? Was that something for Wade or something else? Do you know?
The yellow, or was it the golden when they were wearing the golden sashes too?
Well, no, this was last night. This was the night after the golden sashes and scars. This is it seemed like just the Bronc riders had a yellow feather.
I'm not sure. I guess I didn't notice that. I'm not sure what the yellow feather was for.
If anybody watching knows, tune in. I mean, comment on here and let us know what it is.
And when I was at the rodeo the other night, I believe it was during the team roping, Butch was sitting on the heading box side over there, and looked like he's kind of counting in his hand, and then he might stick one finger out. Was that time in the box?
Yeah, I did.
We lost him.
We did lose him.
Did I lose you guys?
There you are.
Oh,
there you are.
Yeah.
Oh, and we can see
if you could hear me, let me know, because
we can hear you. Yeah.
I'm guessing
we can hear you.
You
can't hear us now.
We can hear you.
It's got to be something to do with Vegas. How about now? No.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't see you guys now, but anyway, or hear you. So
oh gosh,
we can hear you.
Now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
No. Oh, sorry. I don't know what's going on.
StreamYard is not phone friendly, I'm guessing.
Hello. Hey, we can hear you. Just letting you know. I got him right here.
We're being censored.
Go on with it. We can do it.
Yeah, he just wants to talk to you through the phone.
Oh. Let's see if.
And don't forget, he said he had to leave.
All right, can you hear me? We can hear you.
Yeah, but you sound like you're talking slow motion on my mic on the
computer.
Chat. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna hang up now. All right. Oh, technology is wonderful.
Tom Miller commented here: the Shelby McCamey Suicide Awareness Yellow Feather Campaign. He thinks.
Got it.
Makes
sense. Okay. Thanks, Tom. I knew somebody would know what was going on.
Don't forget, Luke has an engagement he needs to get to in a little bit. It looks like he might need extra time to get there today.
Yeah, it looks like it. So if he comes back in, I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
I'll thank him for stopping by. We'll try to get him maybe to wrap it up on, I don't know, Sunday. He might be headed home because he's been there for a long time. But Luke, if you can hear us, thank you. Appreciate you coming by. Wherever he's coming back. Maybe slowly.
How about
spinning
now?
circle of there. Can you hear us? All right, there you are.
Yeah, and
all right.
And we can
so
see
we
you.
did
Awesome.
find out.
The son of a bitch.
Well, hey,
This is the best.
This is not by far. This blows rumps out of here. Sorry,
Yeah,
this is raw, unedited. Hey, we know you got.
Anyway, what were you guys asking?
What else? What else entertaining or something that nobody would know about? Anything good to tell us or bad?
Bear got a pair of Peppa Pig slippers from our English friend Mary that flew in. That's entertaining. Nice. Yeah, they went home yesterday.
Yeah, I saw Lindsay's Instagram or your Instagram, a Bear signing autographs with you at the Cowboy Channel. It looked like he was in really out of the three boys. He really embraces the whole what
stardom
rodeo and everything that you do is about, huh? I mean, all three boys like it, but Bear just seems to mirror you and want to do. You know, he's got the shirt that has all the patches, and he just really thrives in it. It looks like and enjoys it.
Yeah, he does. He was signing those. We had little bumper stickers that said, "I love the Cowboy Channel," and he spelled his name out on a bunch of them. And we were getting ready to go. I said, "You could leave those here," but he's like, "No, I'm gonna hand them out to people." So as we're walking through the convention center, he starts throwing them around, handing them out to people. He just walk up to a random person, look up at him, and stick his hand out and hand them to him. So he loved it.
I feel like you took a lot of fan pictures yesterday too. I saw your mug all over the internet yesterday.
Yeah, we were I went to the Resist All Rookie Luncheon, and then I had to drop Lindsay off. She's been doing a lot of social media stuff here, and in fact, I have a pair of carpenter jeans her size that she's going to wear. We're going to do some twinning at some point.
You really think she's going to wear those?
I know she's going to wear them, or she's not leaving this room. I will lock her in here.
My money's on Lindsay doing whatever she wants, but hey, that's just money.
Hey, hon, you're going to wear those jeans, right? Yeah? Yeah? Well, you're not going out. You're staying your ass in here. That was our deal.
When we don't see you later,
it was a deal. And we put it on social media, and you got to do whatever social media says now.
Yeah, it's the law.
Yeah, social media is better than the news channels. Actually, probably is.
Did you enter
Denver? It
Denver?
really is, yeah.
What's that?
Did you enter Denver?
No, I won't be able to be back on a horse till probably another 6 months or so. June, July.
You're going to get some family time in.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of that.
So Lindsay's
going to really
stuff. What the production stuff, is that a lot of work, or you don't just show up?
No, it's pretty easy. We show up, do makeup, and which I have beautiful skin, so I don't take much. And yeah, it's pretty easy. Show up, go to my spot, talk bulldogging, or post show, pre show, whatever, talk bulldogging, and that's about it. I will say this: we do a Purina Facebook Live every day at 3:00. And Coleman Proctor's the host, and I'm his Robin Hood to his Batman. Anyway, I did help him out in the team roping. He was telling me he's having some issues, kind of just sitting back of his saddle. I told him he needed to charge that front end, and he did, and he won the round that night. So, who would have thought that I could have helped a team roper win something?
Here you go.
I know yesterday's show, I think somebody said something about they look like a Bulldogger or an Oklahoma header. Whoever you guys had yesterday kind of made a shot at Coleman. It was
it was one of his team. I think it was Jake Long or Travis Graves.
Yeah, I know. I've been watching that your Purina, live, and you and Coleman are pretty good together. It's good watching.
Yeah, he does a good job teeing me up.
You can always tell a team roper something. You just can't tell them much.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
They don't already know.
Anyhow.
Oh, that's good stuff. But
have you put a plug in with the Cowboy Channel for your brother to do any kind of stuff commentary?
No, I'm still trying to work on my deal. I need to get paid better first. So once I get that established, right.
Oh, funny.
Oh,
what is on your docket today?
I got to leave here in a little bit and go to the convention center, and they have the junior NFR and the steer wrestling, and go down and see some of the kids that I help. I'm going to get my leg worked on by Justin Sports Medicine, just to have them kind of do some, sports medicine-ishy stuff to it, and then just help Lindsay. We got a Pendleton takeover today, so we're gonna.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we got Pendleton takeover, and we'll be busy with that all day. And then she's got a lot of more stuff going on this week here than I do.
Yeah, because she's doing a lot of NFR fashion stuff, right?
Yep, she was on the cover of Western Runway for the magazine, and so she's been doing a lot of that stuff. And she has a photo shoot, I think. What time's your photo shoot today? Noon. I thought there was one at like 3 a.m. Oh yeah, she got one at noon and one at 3 a.m. So she'll be busy with all that. Yeah.
Hey, one other thing.
Seriously?
Since they apparently like to listen to you so much on bulldogging issues, when they're breaking the cattle in or selecting the cattle, whatever, they're not necessarily breaking them in. But I mentioned to Matt a couple years ago, I think it would help the cattle, especially the first go around they're out, to leave the arena, and the pickup men don't have to rope them as much. And since it's such a good thing for junior high rodeo to use now as the straightaway shoot, why don't they get a straightaway shoot and take them out of that from the other end? I think it would help the steers, give you all a better idea of what would work better instead of taking them out of the bucking shoots.
There's
Matt
no
told
telling.
me he says probably just money, just getting one there. I'm like, hell, just use a couple of panels and rig something up, but I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's never been.
If it's supposed to be that great of a thing for junior high rodeo, why aren't we using it there to help you guys pick steers?
Well, I have some issues with some of the rules in junior high rodeo anyway. We could talk about that, but yeah, exactly. I agree. One thing I do know, it goes fast. They got 6 or 8 bucking shoots and load them all up, and I think it's more of a speed issue because, again, we're on a clock no matter what day it is. When we're at the Thomas and Mack, you got an hour to throw your steers down, an hour to chase them through. So I think that's more of a speed issue. But yeah, the junior high rodeo, with the way they have to have, those kids have to or cannot wrap around their neck. In fact, Casey Martin's brother Stoney and I are going to get together and write some rules to try to change that. So you're not penalizing the younger, smaller kids because the bigger ones are choking them out. And like I said, you're hurting the majority because of a few, and if it's easier to judge watching a few than it is trying to watch the majority of them. So we're going to try to get something put together for them and hopefully get it in and get that rule changed.
Well, I agree on that deal. Like when I was up there hearing a few years ago, and I was standing there watching it, and my boy didn't even make it. My boy wasn't very good. He was a smaller guy, and I wanted him to bulldog right. I told him, I said, I just want you to go make pretty runs. I don't want you to try to be fast.
Right.
Coming across the line, stepping in front of him, stopping him, running back at him. I wanted him to learn how to bulldog right. But that shoot, the problem was that shoot they use, it's putting them bigger kids in front of them steers from the get-go. They can't get behind them and leave there correctly, in my opinion. A lot of it was just the problem with the shoot. But
yeah, I agree with you on that. And I did that clinic there at the junior high finals this last year, and my deal was let's try to get better for the future, because shoot dog ain't going to pay you nothing. If you want to get better to start, when you're in high school, college, and professional, you need to start doing it right here. You're going to have a even longer ladder to climb to get to be great.
Yeah.
Mo, try to use it as a stepping stone. It's not the be all end all end game junior high rodeo for sure.
Well, and
talking about
think
that,
for some kids it is. I do think they're there for the all around, and which is fine. And that's what I tell them.
Right.
If you guys want to progress in steer wrestling, don't worry about winning first at junior high rodeos. Let's do it right at the junior high rodeos, and then you'll start winning first at the other rodeos when you start jumping cattle and doing it correctly.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. I hope you can. I went to the midwinter meeting a few years ago. I was the junior high director for Kansas, and I went to that midwinter meeting, and rodeo knowledge is beat out by other things.
Oh yeah, I kind of noticed that at the junior high finals, and hopefully they'll listen, and if they don't, we'll start a new rodeo association.
Yeah.
Because that always works. Oh my goodness.
We'll make our own rules.
Right.
All right. So I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question, but did you get to watch any of the breakaway roping?
I did not. No. No, I heard Joe B talking about it a little bit, but it sounded like Haven's girlfriend Shelby did good. I don't think it's over today, or is it over?
No, it ended yesterday.
Gal from South Dakota won it. Sawyer.
Yeah, Gilbert.
Sawyer Gilbert wound up winning it. Yeah, Shelby Beausoleil she's winning the world coming in after 5 rounds, winning the average, and she missed her 6th calf. And Sawyer had a barrier in the first 5, but she winds up winning the average. She's the only girl to rope all 10 calves and winds up winning the world. And 19-year-old girl wins Cheyenne, wins Pendleton, wins the world, wins the NFR averages. Pretty stellar, outstanding year for sure. 19 years old. You could just tell the raw emotion when she received her saddle and buckle yesterday. It's pretty amazing to see.
Well, and from a great family. Her dad was a great steer wrestler and a great guy. I mean, I seen him at the American a couple of years ago when we talked. I hadn't seen him forever, but just a great family.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. It was really cool. Really cool watching. And you saw Shelby when she missed that 6th calf. You could just kind of tell in her face. It's like she knew she put herself behind the 8 ball, and Sawyer's going to have to really stub her toe, and she didn't. Her 10th calf, all she's got to do is put it around his neck. She's going to win the average and pretty much win the world. And I think JJ Hampton finally, she missed the first 7 calves, catches her 8th calf, and misses her 9th one, and then she wins the 10th round, but she was 1-8. Sawyer just runs right in the middle, 3-4, just takes care of business, and just this relief. It was really cool watching. The Wrangler Network and the Orleans did a good job of putting it out there, putting the content out there, and those girls performed outstanding. It was fun watching. So,
how far out do you guys seriously think we are, and do you think it'll happen where the breakaway roping is in the Thomas and Mack?
I mean, it's getting talked about already.
Yeah.
Again, we talk about production, Las Vegas events, Las Vegas C. They want people in and out of the Thomas and Mack so they can put them in the casinos. Well, let's get rid of the grand entry and add breakaway rope, and I think it'll speed everything up, and everybody'd be happy.
Yes.
Well, they could get rid of,
get rid of the musical act from the 90s.
Yeah, Dust on the Bottle from 1995 is great.
Hey, listen, David Lee Murphy rocked it. I really enjoyed that, so leave him alone.
You would.
Anyway,
I have to
run because
he's got to go, guys.
My clock.
All right, man. All right. Hey, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week out there. We'll see you when you get home.
Feel free to give us a plug.
You bet. Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Luke. Oh my goodness.
He's funny.
Yeah, that's what I get to deal with all the time.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like his wife is a saint.
Yeah, we all are. We all put up with him. The family is saints.
I will tell you, I know from when I had that conversation with him about the NIRA and College Rodeo alumni last year, yes, 2020. His wife does an amazing job with his social media. I know that it's not him doing that, so she does a good job. She's got her hands full, but she does a really good job. I did hear Dayla said that Lindsay's doing some stuff on the tailgate, so she's got a lot of stuff going this week also with the NFR Fashion and their partnership with Pendleton. So.
Well, and I think, like Luke said, I think Lindsay's got more going on than he does, throughout the day. So,
yeah, well,
anything Anything to stay away from him. He stays busy.
Having him on was kind of like a clown act gone wrong.
With the mic, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a lot to go through
the event.
Yeah. I don't have a lot that jumps out at me, but I might think of something. I got it replaying on the TV here, but
well, what about the bareback riding? So Jess Pope takes back the lead of the average. After 6, he goes 2.5 points ahead of Casey Field after last night's ride. Jess Pope was 87.5. Casey Ford was 84.5, and so Jess Pope's 526.5 to 524, and then Cole Franks is third with 516. But that was and you called it, Jim Boy, that Casey wasn't going to have enough horse last night. So
Taylor Broussard, I feel bad for him. I don't know if that goes back to them popping that latch too soon, or making that noise on that latch. Most of us are open, put around there, and you undo that latch quietly. And I asked somebody about that the other night, and they said, well, maybe an animal busted out. I think last year an animal got out before the guy nodded, really, and so they're probably worried about that happening. But man, that's too loud. Them horses key off of that noise. That's why at the Bronc school, most any Bronc school around, we tell them kids, you quietly nod. You nod for a horse. Don't say, yeah, outside, because them horses key off of that. They know it's coming, and they'll rear back. And I seen a kid break his back one time in the chute because of that. And they have these pads on the back of the chutes, and them are supposed to be to help you. But I've been told that them pads don't let you slide up any. Like when you hit them,
they
pads,
lock you in.
You're there. You can't slide none. So it's almost better if you could, it gives you more room to get up out of there, especially a Bronc saddle, or rigging, and you want to get off to the side on them riggings. But and then I was also somebody said that maybe that flank man on that horse that Broussard had last night was that Colorado Bulldog, I think, of FedEx.
Yeah, it was Colorado Bulldog.
Maybe the flank man, and I could tell that kid, it looked kind of like a younger boy, and sometimes a flank man is very critical. And I know I've screwed up before. And I'll have a young horse that I'm wanting to sell, and I need a good trip, and or maybe under the lights and the big stars, and you get too much on them or screw up the flank. But somebody said that maybe that kid got that flank pulled on it before the gate was actually coming open. But Tom told me a while ago, he says Broussard might be done. He might be out. They showed it getting the stretcher out for him last night. So,
well, let's see. I know Amy was talking about it a little bit. Amy Wilson Cameron was talking about it a little bit last night too, but I don't remember what the final verdict was.
Yeah. So they're the list, they may have to show 2 pages of an injury report tonight.
Yeah.
It's just going to keep increasing. And when I was talking about the Grand Entry a while ago, not only just, I remember, like them victory lap horses, there's a black horse that's kind of running off and kind of throwing his head. And I could see somebody taking out a knee when they come in and
on that panel,
the gate, and I remember a couple of years ago, a flag girl, and I think them flag girls, they kind of go through like a certification process. They apply for it. But I think one of them horses, I don't know, somebody came in there and I think T-boned a flag girl there a couple of years ago. So
yeah,
we've all seen it. We've seen it at the college finals. We've seen it at our local college rodeos, at high school rodeos. One of the most dangerous places around at a rodeo is the Grand Entry. I mean, it's just, and the victory laps.
Well, and you want them to have fun, but
right,
but still on an animal, you got to make smart choices too.
And I had a guy when I was in high school rodeo, a guy that was, they were judging and they opened the gate and a flag horse took off. Grand Entry flag horse took off. And this horse smoked the judge, dislocated, separated his shoulder. Concussion, knocked teeth out. This was a little district rodeo. The guy was laid up for 6 months. Well, and how many times, hey, I got a horse somebody can flag on, or, somebody can ride the Grand Entry, and You're like, no, that's not good.
Yeah. Well, before we move away from the bareback riding, I know that Cole Reiner hasn't placed real high, but he's been super consistent. And of course, graduated from high school in Buffalo, Wyoming. So I do have to give a shout out to him. Went to college.
That's my pro fantasy guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's road and he's in the average. He's just not scoring high.
Well, and he started out the week, he was scoring pretty high, and he's winning fourth in the average right now. He's about 13 points out of first. I mean, so that's, over 6 horses. That's here or there 2 points. Yeah. But I tell you what, so last night we were having our best pro fantasy team, and pro fantasy comes out and says, hey, if you pay for premium insurance, which I do, I bought it, you're gonna get Sage Newman is who you got. I'm thinking, all right, I look, Sage Newman places. I'm gonna at least get my $100 back. And then, oh no, you got this other guy who I think I've won more money in the saddle bronc riding at the finals this year than this poor kid. And I'm just like, make up your mind. I want Sage Newman. I want the money I should have had. Because I mean, I placed in every event, and it was just like, oh man. Well, that's just me being selfish.
I went from having Sundell on one of my teams to Ben Anderson.
Yeah, we had Ben Anderson. Yeah, that's who I got.
Sundell won a round and Ben ain't won $1.
No, that's what I say. Yeah, and it's
if you had Devers, that one on the top. If you had Devers, did Tavener replace him? I think.
I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works.
Premium. Yeah. So if you bought premium insurance, because Dirk Tavener come in 10th hole, Devers comes in 11th. If you bought premium insurance, if Devers does go out of the finals, and I'm not really sure how it all works. If you get all of Dirk's money through the week, I think he becomes your guy for the whole week. Man, what a deal there! You talking about the insurance paying off there? If you went from
I'm not sure if you get all that money that he won, or if it's just from the point they swap.
Well, how's the average play in then?
That's where I don't know how that average works out. That I'm not 100% sure on. We should get Casey Jones on here to explain it to us.
Well,
yeah, let's do.
That's maybe right there. Okay, I'll work on getting that or the boss on.
I feel like we're the stage in the game that all the people that we've messaged need shout out. Like they need to be called out. Like because there's a few of you that we've messaged that are not even giving.
If they don't want to have enough fun, as much fun as us, then heck with them. If they don't want to be on here, they just don't understand.
They just don't even know.
We're legendary. It was cool to see Orr Larson, snap off last night, go 91 points on Night Gazer. That was pretty cool. Oh, so Tom Miller, yeah, he's got Dirk now, so perfect.
I feel like that was a fair insurance purchase right there.
Yeah.
Worked out.
All right. So should we talk about saddle bronc riding? And it was the right family show last night. First, second, and third. Spencer out towards the beginning, 87.5. Man, might get a go round, and then my nephew's coming just 89.5, 89. Ryder and Stetson. I think Ryder doesn't want to let Stetson take both buckles, so he's really making a run. So it was good watching last night, that saddle bronc riding, and both those boys rode great. But it's still, I know the Brody Crest is the projected winner because he's winning the average right now.
He's been quiet. I mean, has he won much money?
He split fourth and fifth in round 5, won fourth in round 3, first in round 2, and third in round 1. So he's placed 1, 2, 3, 4. He's placed 4 out of 6 rounds. So I mean, he's right there, Let me see. It's projected, because I love doing the projection deal here. Yeah, they're still projecting him winning it and Ryder winning second. It's kind of what they've got set up right now. That's how how they've got it. But like I said, you know that
like the right boys have been kind of quiet.
what's that?
I said it kind of seems like the right boys have been kind of quiet up till this point.
Yeah, you know, well, like say Spencer's place. He was 5th and 6th in round 1, split 2nd and 3rd in round 2, 6th, and then 5th, and then 3rd last night. Reiner, you know, but see, Reiner had a 4th, split 4th and 5th in round 2, bucked off in round 3, didn't place in round 4, but then he won round 5 and 6. And then Stetson went 2nd in round 3, split 2nd and 3rd in round 5, and then went 2nd in round 6. So Stetson's been kind of the coldest of the 3 of them, but and the coldest, you know, he's placed in half the round. So
yeah.
And then there's our Ben Anderson. Poor Ben. He's no score 75, no score 81.
He's turning it around tonight.
Yeah, I would love to have a 94-point ride for my pro fantasy team. That's just come on, Ben. I'm your biggest fan right now.
Yes.
Oh,
manifest.
Yeah, my team. One of my teams in round 5, I had like 4 go-round wins, and so I kind of added up, and it was about 130 some thousand. I'm like, man, all right. And I looked at the other nights, and I'm like, that'd be in the top 10 payoff of pro fantasy on them other nights. Well, so then when after the Shane Proctor deal and the switching around, everything got finalized from last night. So I get up this morning, I look at it, and yeah, you had to win over 175,000 to win. I wasn't even close to the top 10 with my 130,000.
Yeah, awesome.
But
not enough. Not fast enough.
I did do the Rump Shaker League. You know, their private little league, and his wife Ashley is she's winning it right now, and she's number 7 in the overall pro fantasy.
Oh, nice!
Wow,
person in my little private league. I'm like, that's handy. So I'm not going to. I'm about to throw in the towel because my calf roper. I have a calf roper named Hunter Heron. He's going to have to be fast or just keep being no times, I guess, the rest of the week. He's won the same amount as my new Bronc rider. So,
you know, and I was that close to picking him when we were picking our team because he had such a phenomenal finals last year at Arlington. You know, kind of that feel good comeback story. And yeah, my wife goes, "Lightning doesn't strike twice in the same spot." I'm like, okay, yeah, good point. Well, and I'm thinking,
that's the
I was
funny
hoping.
part about this game. You know how humble it will make you. You know, you could be the star this year, and you just never know. Well, I guess we'll just jump to the barrel racing a little bit there.
Yes.
That kind of leads into what I say the other day, that a knockdown barrel would be 4th in the average. I think was my prediction the other day. And,
yep.
I don't know, did that come through last night?
What's that?
Did that come
I think
through?
I can tell you.
It did.
I can tell you right now. The knockdown barrel is going to be 3rd in the average right now. Haley's 3rd with a knockdown barrel.
Yeah. So it even greater than what I said. So that
changes the whole projection. So the projection going into last night's round with Brittany winning the average, she was going to win the world because Haley was down there at 7th. The way it all happened last night, Haley's sitting 3rd. Now they're projecting her to win the world, even with Brittany winning the average, by jumping up to 3rd in the average with barrels down. So it's amazing. Like I say, just it's one round, and it changed everything last night with a couple girls knocking barrels down.
Well, and still
right now.
There's still a lot left.
Because right now, like I say, and actually Jordan Briggs went to the lead of the average ahead of Brittany, and then Haley's 3rd, and then Emily's 4th, Stevie Hillman's 5th, Cheyenne Wimberly 6th, and Amanda Welsh is 7th. They're split in 7th. And yeah, there's only 2 girls without any barrels down right now, and we've still got 4 rounds left. So that it could all change again. I mean, it's each night is a new adventure for those poor barrel racers inside that building. So.
And even if you, what did Emily win last night? 4th?
She split 4th, or she won 4th last night. Yeah, that was a fast round last night.
Bottom of the ground. She was the last one out.
Yep.
And so that ought to tell them girls, Just because you're going to the bottom of the ground, don't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
They
No,
did that ghost camera thing again last night too. And who did they show? I think they did the ghost cam with Ivy and with Emily. And I mean, they were neck and neck with the exception of On the Way Home. And Ivy made more of a straight home, and Emily was just out a little bit. But it's
just out to ride a tick.
Just a little bit. But that ghost camera thing is super cool to be able to see just those little differences along the run. That's a really neat addition, I think.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's another tool that they can use to show how close these horses are. Different build types, different bloodlines, but just how with the hundredths of a second how tight these horses are, and to show what kind of jockeys these girls are too.
Yeah,
I personally, and this is from a guy with daughters. These girls don't get enough credit for the jockeys they are, riding these fire-breathing dragons in an unfriendly environment, and to jockey them around those barrels and in and out of the alleyway and everything else. These girls have got to have nerves of steel. Oh, I mean, nerves of steel and no backup in them, and it's just amazing. And those girls don't get enough credit because unfortunately, I feel they're treated like the redheaded stepchilds of the rodeo world, and they shouldn't be. They should be the ones that all the rough stock riders and time event cowboys should applaud, because those girls, I guarantee you, a lot of those guys don't want to get on those barrel horses. None of them do.
And the fans, the extra fans they bring to the game. I mean, it's kind of like JB Mooney, the fans that he's brought in to rodeo. But I'll never forget when I was young, I went to San Antonio with a buddy. He was in the steer riding, a special little steer riding deal. He qualified to go ride in San Antonio rodeo, and we were sitting way up in the top of that place, and there were some gals up there, some people having a large time, and they were pretty mellow until the barrel racing, and I mean they got up and was standing and hooting and hollering and throwing beer everywhere. I mean, it was jumping around, and it was crazy. I mean, and like when June Holman runs, and some of them the people that admire an older lady being able to do that, just the extra fans.
Well, look with Donna Kay, with her coming back this year, and after having to sit out last year. I mean, the support she has, the fans love it. It's a fan favorite. She's a fan favorite. So
yeah,
like I say, I have nothing but respect and hats off to those ladies, because it's just like unreal the amount of will and just nerves of steel to ride those barrel horses.
And
give me 1 second.
You're good.
Hopefully Las Vegas events will realize what the breakaway roping and the junior rodeos and all that has added to their local economy. I know the casinos make a lot of money, but you can't tell me that what the breakaway roping and all them junior rodeo events has done for
the NFR,
the economy of Las Vegas. Maybe it's time for them to kind of relook at the picture of what it does for them, and let's quit worrying so much about getting everybody out of the building, out of Thomas and Mack, and back to the table.
And that's just it. There's so many people there that aren't even in the Thomas and Mack. I guarantee you can't tell when the NFR starts, because everybody's still out and about. I mean, there's still enough people out and about that you can let the NFR go and do their thing, and y'all are still busy everywhere else.
Yeah.
There's just too many events going on.
So much is going on, and I truly think those girls in the breakaway roping, they deserve. Hey, Brooks, thank you. I love it. Those girls, they deserve to be in that building. I truly believe that. And I timed it the other day. I timed the 5th round on Monday. It took 13 minutes to run 15 breakaway ropers. And they could tighten that up even inside Thomas and Mack. I mean, and that from the time they swing the gates, run the sponsor flags, to run 15 girls, I guarantee you they could knock it out in 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes at the longest. And the crowd would go wild. If those girls tap off in there like the team ropers did last night, and you're going fast and making 1 second runs, 1.9, 1.8, 1.7, it would tear the roof off that, because as much as, like we said, barrel racing, I love watching it. Those girls are amazing, but not everybody's going to be able to get a barrel horse. But a lot of little girls can learn to rope. They can go afford a rope horse, and that's their goal, to be inside the Thomas and Mack. And at least it gives them another option. And I truly think that the sooner they can get that in that building, it's just going to increase the people that want to come watch the rodeo, you know. And not, like say, not everybody needs to go back, you know. Last time we were there is 2019. We got back to the hotel, went and had dinner, and then we went to the room because we had a 12-year-old little girl with us, you know. But we'd have rather gone out, watched the breakaway open, or gone to an event where she could have enjoyed it a little bit more. So I don't know. I just think it's time. Now's the perfect time. Breakaway roping is the hottest event going right now, and I think it's time for it to be highlighted and showcased there at the finals.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to make a comment too. The, you know, Butch and Jeff on the televised version, they kind of off the cuff talk about like, oh, this is so-and-so's X number of qualification for the NFR. You know, Lisa Lockhart, 15 consecutive years. That's that's huge.
That's
for somebody to make. I mean, I'm in envy for somebody to make the NFR once. Like that's your dream. When you're in rodeo, that's what you work hard for. Like that's kind of the ultimate platform. And for somebody to be able to get back twice and 3 times, like it's impressive. And I don't know that I don't know. I don't think they do it justice. But for those of us that are watching and know a little bit about the industry, that is amazing. And how many cowboys and cowgirls do we have that are in those double digits at this point that we just kind of hear about in passing, but we don't really ever talk about? And I know I totally changed the subject, but I didn't want to forget that.
No, I mean, like say Lisa's got 15 qualifications. That is unbelievable. It's just, you know, and that was one thing I was going to ask Luke about. We didn't get to before he left. You know, he's got 14 qualifications. From 2001 to 2015, he missed 05 when he had a torn pec. He tore his pec at Reno or Greeley, and so you know that was just one thing I did want to talk with him about is, you know, at what point I don't think it ever becomes, you know, you just expect to be there because I think it's still an honor to be there.
But I was wondering.
You know, and that was one question we didn't get to. And if we can get him back on, I'd like to talk to him a little more about when he doesn't have food poisoning or whatever he had, and like he did this morning. But you know, for Lisa to run down that alleyway at the Thomas and Mack 14 times and 1 time in Arlington, but to make 150 runs when it's all said and done, that is impressive. That is unbelievable, you know. And
you know, Trevor and Justin were talking about like riders and horses being synonymous. There's like Sister and Haley and Chongo and Emily, but there's a handful of girls, and Emily and Haley, the same thing. Like they're not qualifying on one horse. Like these ladies have multiple horses in their string of horses that get them through the year and get them to this point. Like they're not just good riders on one steed. They have, you know, a half dozen horses that they ride throughout the year in different pens. They're horsemen. They're horse women, and they're good at what they do. So it's just, I don't know. It's not talked about very often, I don't think.
No, they could do a little more in depth on these girls, on the horses, on the remuda, on the group of horses that get them there. Just because just because Haley's riding Sister mainly at the finals, Emily's riding Chongo, you know, but there's a whole herd that helps them get there, and they've always got horses in the back, you know, ready to go. And like I say, it's just I really enjoyed watching the barrel race the last couple of years and getting a little more in depth to know about these girls. And I just, you know, the personalities, it's not just the horses, the personalities of these ladies and the riders. And just, I love when Emily does her interviews and stuff. And I promise I will watch the buckle ceremony eventually, maybe the 10th round or something. But like I said, the last bull bucks, and I'm going to bed. I'm taking NyQuil, and I'm out. So,
Well,
no, I'm getting old.
What's going on? What happened? Talk to us about the team roping.
Team roping was a fast round last night. That was so first team out of the night. Cody Snow and Wesley Thorpe, and they've been kind of snake bit. They might have placed once or twice. They're 4-3. Well, the last two nights, a leg is placed and won a check. So you're thinking, all right, here's a hometown boy, Cody Snow, right here, Los Olivos, California, former average winner. All right, 4-3. Yeah, that was 7th. Coy Raymond and Douglas Rich, 3-6. Quinn Kessler, Joseph Harrison, 3-9. Clay Try and Jake Long, 3-9. Ray Richard, Jeremy Bueller, 4 flat. Derek McGann, Brady Miner, 4-1. Eric Rogers, Peyton Brave, 4-2. I mean, it was just a murderer's row last night. Everybody was bringing it.
And who went out of the average?
Clay Smith and Jade Corkill went out last night. Clay, and that right there was shocking because Clay had roped outstanding all, he hadn't bobbled besides a barrier the night before. And he just whips it off one last night. Doesn't take a bad shot. And I know Joe on the commentary said, oh, he just looked like he threw it over those horns. Kind of little cow horn steer. And steer kind of ran with his head, not ducking it, but just the way he was built and ran. And Clay just kind of roped on the gain and just popped it off. And that's going to change. I thought it was going to be a 2-dog battle going down to the last 5 head with Jade and Clay Smith and Dustin, or not with Driggers and Junior.
Mm-hmm.
But then last night, Juniors and Drigger just make a solid run. They're 4-8, don't place in the round, but they're winning second the average behind Andrew Ward and Buddy Hawkins. So just they're just going to keep knocking them down. And like I say, if they get back to the wall where Caleb and Junior need to win a round, there's nobody more equipped than those two to do it. But I think they're in a good position to claim their first gold buckle. That being said, it's team roping, and the roping gods can be very fickle individual people and gods, and you can have it one rope deep around the brisket and it'll wave off. You never know. So, but yeah, that was a game changer last night. Now Clay Smith and Jade are just going to be gunning the next 4 rounds. But I'm going to go look at the average right now in the team rope and see what that did for them here. My computer is being really slow. They're still 5th in the average. So really, I mean, it's if Caleb and Junior stub their toe, like I say, that like the average in the barrel racing, you can work your way back up. And you're going to watch Andrew and Buddy probably just start roping. I'm not going to say they're going to back off because you can't back off in that arena. You can't miss the barrier by a foot because now you're playing catch up. And we've seen it in the past, and it cost, I believe, this was about 7 or 8 years ago. I forget who the team was. They were winning the average. All I do is rope this steer to win the average, win the world. Header misses the barrier bad and winds up waving it off. And it might have been Luke Brown. I think it was Luke Brown one year. But right now, 4 teams have got all of them caught. You've got Andrew Roard, Buddy Hawkins, Caleb and Junior, Rimishard, Jeremy Bueller, and Eric Rogers and Peyton Bray, last year's average champions. And Andrew and Buddy are 33.60, and Driggers are 37.70. So I mean it's pretty tight right there at the top.
All right, we do have a question about the barrel racing. Rod Swafford asked, how many professional barrel racers are riding horses that they do not own? What is that the norm now?
It's a big deal these days.
Yeah.
It's happening a lot of the PRCA girls, a lot of girls that might not even be PRCA. I mean, there's a lot of people that they want to play the game, they want to be involved, and they're finding jockeys to put on them.
Different ways to do it. Yeah, that didn't used to be a thing. When did that start? In the last
It's gotten
5
more
years?
popular in the last, yeah. It's getting to be, with all them futurities and everything, it's getting to be a big deal.
Yeah, that's a good question, Rod. Thanks. Man, how about bull riding?
Once again, I thought Kai Hamilton were going to win the round, and then Creek Young, hey, I see you're 87.5, and I'm going to be 90.
Yep.
That was, I'll raise you. I see you. See it, I'll raise
And
you.
how about that? He said in his interview that he had only had one over 90-point ride prior to coming into the NFR and has had 2 this week. Like, I would say
cool.
that's exactly what happens when you put the best of the best cowboys against the best bulls. That's what should be happening.
That was, yeah, you're seeing.
What about my man Stetson? He puts what, a 94.5-point bull ride on the bull of the year, chiseled, and then they bring in the high school pin again, and he falls off.
Old slobber knocker, he bucks off slobber knocker there. That's
like, are you kidding me?
you hear Donnie, oh man, he just quit riding. He just quit riding.
That's why I say it's so humbling. I mean, you can pull that. You can not that he pulled anything out of his hat, because the kid rides dang good. I mean, most people ain't warm that bull up, and then the next night, and I know it didn't get to his head. People might say, oh, no, he proved himself last year to the world. He has nothing.
Yeah,
we all know he's dang good, but that's rodeo right there. And who's to say Ben Anderson or Hunter Heron doesn't come back and win the next 5 rounds? And whoever's go 0 and
like I say, and all it takes is one run to flip it and build that momentum off of one run. And it may not be the run where you win the round, but you gain a little momentum, you gain that confidence, and you start building on it. So, but I tell you, the one that's riding with confidence, and it's been fun to watch, is Parker Bredding. I mean, he was only 81.5 last night. I think wins 6th on Zombie Time, but I mean, he's rode I think he's rode 5 out of 6. I think he's winning the average. He's tapped off. Let's see. Yeah, he's ridden 5 out of 6. He's 2 bulls up on Boudreaux Campbell, 2 bulls up on Sage, who's sitting 3rd, 2 bulls up on Josh Frost. There's another story that's pretty cool. Josh Frost, hadn't won a check, until hadn't won a check at the finals until what round was it? He placed in round 3, and then he's placed in round 5 and 6 also. So that's really cool to see. But Parker's been riding, just real consistent all week long. So, and then last night, Sage gets back on track. It was, good to see because, 83.5, and you can tell that knee's kind of bothering him a little bit, but he gritted it out, made a good ride last night on Rip, and 83.5, and he's inking, you can tell he's kind of getting back in his groove. So,
all right, what is going on with JB Mooney?
JB, well, was it last night where they said he's got a pulled groin or he's got a hurt groin or something too? Because he just looks, even when he gets bucked off and goes to move, he just looks like he can't move. He looks stiff. He just looks like he can't get away. The man's been on, I don't know how many of the rankest bulls in the world his whole life. It's going to catch up, but he looks, for lack of a better term, old and slow. But I'm not taking anything away.
That sucks. But what's the difference between the NFR format versus how the PBR is run? Is this taking a toll?
I don't know, because I know the PBR, isn't it 5 head? Isn't it 5 head? But they have a break in the middle, or I know one time they had a break in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't. I just really 10 in a row, and you'll see a lot of them are the same bulls. But
right,
in my opinion, it's funny that other little NFR Facebook group that we became a part of. There's people in there that don't have any clue, and they're like comparing the bulls, and they're bigger, they're smaller, they're what. But I can almost say that more of the PBR bulls are patterned. And the bulls that you see here at the NFR, it's not like they're bringing just beginner or younger bulls in that aren't proven, because the director is still trying to set the pins accordingly. But right, I can about promise you the PBR don't like bulls that are going to go after you so much, or that are
They
dirty,
want
bad in the box or whatever. The PRCA throughout the whole year, you're going to see more. And I might trip somebody off here, but trash. You might see not as user friendly. More. You might see more high horn brindles or whatever that nobody ever liked getting on back in the old days. But
through the regular season.
Yeah, throughout the regular season.
Okay. Well, I just wondered. I mean, I think a lot of people really had some high expectations for him coming in, and I guarantee. I mean, did he feel those expectations, or do you think he's at the level where he just brushes it off and doesn't care?
He don't care.
I was gonna say, he doesn't care. He just wants to ride. I think he's upset because he's not performing for himself, for JB Mooney, and for his fans and everything else. But I think in his mind, he expected to come in here just like, and you've got to have this mindset, and especially in the bull riding, you are the baddest man in the world. You are going to win every time you nod your head, and it just hasn't worked out that way for him. So,
and
it was exciting to see.
Just like Sage. Sage said the other day he feels as good as he ever has coming into the NFR.
Yeah.
And I decided this year I'm putting my money on barrel racers and bull riders for my fantasy team. So I went with Emily and Haley and Sage and Stetson. And their barrel racing department's doing well. Bull riding department ain't doing bad, but Sage ain't top condition right now.
No, like I said, you could tell in that third round when the way he landed and hurt that knee or re-aggravated that knee, you could just tell he's not 100%. So, but like I say, a guy can come in here feeling 100%, being 100% healthy, one ride, one buck off, land wrong, and tweak this, tweak that, and that all of a sudden now you're compensating because your knees hurt, so you're not gripping with your right leg because you can't turn your toe out because your knee hurts. These guys have got to be so mentally tough to get through the physical pain. And they've been on 6. They've been on 6 head of the rankest stock. And we've got Justin Sports Medicine. They've got personal trainers, they've got Doug and Logan, some of those guys. They've got guys like that helping them, trying to keep them, recovering, keep them in shape. But after 6 nights of the toughest rough stock in the world, I don't care. You're sore. Your body's sore. I mean, we saw what Luke looked like after 6 nights of commentating. He looked like, he was wore out. And that's just commentating on TV with Joe Beaver. My goodness.
Yeah. Well, I think this has been a good rodeo. Clearly, I think everybody is excited to be back in Vegas. We had a lot of conversation early on about, is Vegas going to make any changes? Are there any changes they can make based on what contestants and fans liked in Arlington last year? I don't know if that conversation is still going on, but it sure seems like everybody's happy to be back.
Well, I think everybody's happy to be back in Vegas. It fits. And I wasn't down in Arlington. I don't know, I had a lot of friends down there, talked to a lot of people. They really enjoyed it, but we've become so ingrained of the NFR in Las Vegas just being one. If you say a National Finals Rodeo, you think Las Vegas, Nevada, and Las Vegas has become known for National Finals Rodeo. Their slowest time of the year used to be from after Thanksgiving till January 1st. Now it's their busiest time of the year, and that is due to the Western lifestyle, the cowboys and cowgirls, and the PRCA and the NFR. And so I think it's going to be hard-pressed to get it out of Vegas. I just think they're going to make sure that they keep it there because it's such a lucrative event to have in Vegas for the city. And the one thing I think they could do to improve it for sure is make sure that the NFR Hangover show is live in Vegas next year on Las Vegas or the Cowboy Channel or somebody. If anybody out there is watching, you know what? Put it out there to them. Let them know that we need to be there live on a station. I don't care, Wrangler Network. Somebody needs to pick us up because we bring great content, intellect, and insight into the world of rodeo for sure.
By God,
That is
he
a shameless
did
plug.
without laughing. Well, we certainly have fun, and we think we're funny. So there we go. Well, I think I would add, I, as Bullfrog Creatives, would love to hit the 2,000 mark. I think we're right at about 1,800, and that has grown 200 likes in the last week. So I think there's a little bit of a chance that we could get to 2,000. And I will add, listen, for those of you guys that only tune in during the NFR, stop in every once in a while, because I promote college rodeo throughout the entire year, and also do something similar during the CNFR. Not quite as entertaining as this one, because I'm slightly edited for that one. But this isn't the only time that we provide content. So keep coming back and checking on us. That was a really good shameless plug. I appreciate it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, no, the platform you set up, Heidi, has been phenomenal. I've started watching when you did it with the college coaches, and I really enjoyed it. And then last year, when Jim Boy was looking for an outlet to get his NFR Hangover show on, and you said, "Hey, I got the platform and the equipment. We can do it." And it's been really fun, and I think it gives a neat insight to people to have the guests we have on here behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Dusta talking about the contract personnel side and about the rodeo side of it, and then Rump, that he was fun, and having Luke, you got to see Luke in all his morning glory right there this morning, and it's been. And then when we had Katie and Logan, and
whole different
it was just it's a whole different perspective, and it shows that it's more than just the contestants. It's more than just what happens in the arena for those 8 seconds or for those 3-second runs in the Bulldog. And it's just, it lets people get to know the other side of rodeo a little bit more. So I think it's a great platform, and I'm really enjoying it.
I might know this, but Katie called me like that following day. She goes, "Hey, I want to thank you. You got me 2 new customers already."
Good.
That's awesome.
Good. I'm glad. And I noticed, and I'll give her another plug. She commented on here earlier too, but I'll give her another plug. She promoted, she must have like a 6-week course coming up for women in the rodeo industry, for women and young girls. I shared that out. I don't know. We talk about it all the time. Mental game is so important, really at any level. But especially, even for younger women, when you're still building your talent, or younger athletes, where maybe the skill isn't quite there yet, how do you keep your mental game tough? And I highly suggest something like this. And then, did she tell you too what a great fit it was with Champion Living Fitness?
Yeah.
It worked. It was really good. And we had a good conversation. I sure wish she could have stayed on for the whole time, because I was taking notes over on the side just as fast as she was talking.
We should have had a camera on our conversation one night at the hotel lobby in Alva. There was some of us coaches and bullfighters after the rodeo discussing worldly issues and having a good time.
Worldly issues.
Hey,
yeah, I bet.
Some of the best conversations never get recorded.
I know.
It's unfortunate.
Well, hey, tomorrow is Thursday, right? Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yes. Yeah, I believe so.
That's what I came to work yesterday thinking it was Wednesday, because on Wednesday at work they make us coffee, and I thought it was yesterday. Anyway, so tomorrow I believe we have Garrett Yarrigan, and we are still working on some other people, but we're going to wrap the week up on Sunday morning with Mike Greenleaf. For those of you guys that kind of tuned in last year, man, this is a good one. I rewatched it, so it's a good one. You're going to want to tune in for our Sunday wrap up. But I guarantee we don't know what it is between here and there, but it's going to be good. So just mark it in your calendar at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So we're 3 different time zones here, right?
Yeah.
All 3 of us are in different time zones. Man, time zones are hard.
We're not going to invite anybody from the 4th time zone.
No, that's too much. Could you imagine? I can't keep track of you guys, let alone.
Oh my goodness!
But that just goes to speed. You know,
you're lucky we let Tony come play. But when you get,
I appreciate it.
What's that clown joke? There's a point over here and a point over here and a whole lot of BS in the middle.
Yeah,
we're going to be careful about the 2 points way out. Did I tell you about the people walking through the other night after the rodeo when they was hollering, "Let's go, Brandon"?
No. Tell us that story.
Yeah, when I went up to the get me a drink after the rodeo, and the boys were down there watching them run the extras. There's a chant that got started through the corridor there. "Let's go, Brandon."
Oh.
I think there's a team in Pro Fantasy I've seen this morning that's the team name is Let's Go Brandon. So
yeah, I saw that. I think when I looked on there, I saw that too. Oh, that's too funny.
Well, you guys, anything to add? We're gonna do a special broadcast probably tomorrow, midday. We're gonna head over to the convention center and talk to Con Williams and get a sneak peek at some artwork that he brought over. So maybe we can. Oh, and Jessica from Cinch is trying to line it up too for her schedule. So
cool. Nice.
Maybe Perfect. We can get him back on also. She messaged me yesterday, so we'll see what we can round up from the trade show. It'll be really good. I know that Mercedes, it's a little bit different because they didn't have a booth at in the Cowboy Christmas last year in Arlington. So we'll get kind of a perspective from Jessica if we can get it worked out, the difference between the two and how traffic is this year and compared to last year. And I don't know, give them a little bit of airtime.
Nice. So, that'll be good.
All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful day. Back to the grindstone, and we'll see you in the morning.
All right. We'll see you guys in the morning. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Get back on here tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Lots of time zones represented here. So if you can, like Bullfrog Creatives, and you will get notified whenever we go live. That way you know point A to point B and everything in between when that's going on. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll give another shout out to Cinch Jeans and Shirts. Lead, Don't Follow. They are, hopefully they're a proud partner of Bullfrog Creatives and the NFR Hangover. And of course, Con Williams Studio, who is going to be set up, I believe now. The Working Ranch Expo is open and ready for business. So swing by there, mention Bullfrog Creatives and get 10% off. Y'all, 10% off. That's a good deal. So we will be back here tomorrow morning. You will not want to miss it. We'll be back with some more good stories and all the fun things. Catch you tomorrow.
Perfection almost looks easy. But it isn't. Here's to those who go the distance.